A DFACS worker took the wrong little girl from this elementary school in Gwinnett County. And when her father showed up, they couldn't tell him where the child was located. Channel 2's Carl Willis talked with that father tonight.
This Gwinnett County father says his 7-year-old daughter made it to school but never made it to her after-school program. For hours, he had no idea who had her.
Pure anxiety, and I was a disbelief that this could possibly happen.
Turns out that the Division of Family and Children's Services took the girl out of class at Rosebud Elementary School Tuesday and drove her to the Rockdale County DFACS office. But they had the wrong child.
It's two girls that were in the same school with the same last names, same first names, but the spelling was different.
Their birthdays were also different. Sean Harris says the process failed him and his daughter, who he says is scared to go back to school.
I could tell that she was terrified. She was very quiet.
Harris mainly blames DFACS for the mix-up, but they tell me they followed their protocols by providing the legal documents to school staff. In a statement, DFACS wrote, quote, "We are concerned that even when this procedure is followed, a school could release the wrong child to staff in our division. They say they rely on the schools to ensure that they have the right child."
It's totally not an excuse at all.
Meanwhile, Gwinnett County Public Schools tells me the school system is reviewing its processes for releasing students to DFACS and will be working with this agency to ensure that this doesn't happen again.
Very disturbing, particularly with what's going on with sex trafficking and her being a little girl and you not knowing where she is.
DFACS tells me it was a transporter who picked up the child because the actual caseworker was not able to come here to the campus. Meanwhile, his father says better checks and balances are needed to keep this from happening again. Reporting live in Gwinnett County, Carl Willis, Channel 2 Action News.
Well, yeah, it's something every parent would just really be concerned about, Carl. Thank you.
Tonight, a child taken from school and kept from her father for hours because of a DFACS mix-up. Channel 2's Carl Willis is live in Rockdale County, and Carl, the little girl, has come up with a way that she says she wants to make sure this never happens to another child.
Yeah, DFACS agent brought her all the way here to this office. It's a day that still affects her to this day, but she's using her experience now to try to help others.
It's been 6 months since Kennedi Harris was pulled out of her school and taken to another county in a mix-up by a DFACS agent. Kennedy's father says that was a traumatic incident for his little girl, who was just 7 at the time.
That night, she was terrified. She cried all night. The school provided a school counselor the next morning, but we subsequently took her to more professional, licensed personnel.
Turns out the DFACS agent was supposed to pick up another girl with a similar name, but a different spelling and a different date of birth. For nearly 3 hours, her parents had no idea where she was, and Kennedi had no idea who had taken her and why.
I was completely panicked, very frightened, scared.
It was difficult to get Kennedi to trust again. That's why her parents helped her start a company, K-Lock, making items including these identification lockets that includes the child's name, emergency contact, and school.
So I don't get lost again, and no one else will go through what I did.
But the company serves an even bigger purpose for this little girl.
To give her a coping mechanism, to be able to deal with that traumatic experience, and just to see that her confidence is coming back.
And to even have her message printed in national magazines. Kennedi has flourished with her new purpose, even speaking at her school's career day, now that she's a business owner.
She's the only child among all adults doing a career day. She appears to be doing good.
Harris says state officials are still working to improve procedures to keep this from happening again. Reporting live in Rockdale County, Carl Willis, Channel 2 Action News, Night Beat.